Small, simple coins sitting in your drawer could... Have you ever wondered if the small, simple coins sitting in your drawer could secretly be worth more than a diamond ring, more than a luxury house, more than what some people earn in an entire lifetime? My friends, welcome to the world of treasures that fit in the palm of your hand. Today, on True Coin Value, we are not just talking about coins, we are talking about history sealed in metal, secrets preserved through decades, and treasures that could change your life forever. War nickels, those humble 5-cent pieces struck during one of the darkest and most dramatic chapters in human history, are now surfacing in the auction world, not as pocket change, but as golden tickets to unimaginable wealth. Each one of these small, silvery coins carries not just a story, but a destiny powerful enough to make collectors fight over it with passion, to drive its price into the skies, and to turn one lucky finder into an overnight millionaire. And in this video, we are diving deep into the top 7 ultra-rare and most valuable war nickels that collectors are desperately chasing right now. Each coin is more than metal. It's a piece of America's wartime struggle, a symbol of survival, and today, a living treasure chest. Stay with me until the end, because the values I am about to reveal will not just shock you, they will electrify you. This is not fiction. This is the truth. This is the hidden wealth sitting in coins most people ignore. So tighten your grip, feel your heartbeat, and let's begin this unforgettable journey with coin number 1. The year was 1942. America had just entered the Second World War. Resources were scarce. Every ounce of material was redirected to the war effort. And even the humble 5-cent coin, something so ordinary, so overlooked, became a part of this historic struggle. The U.S. Mint made a decision that would forever change numismatics, to alter the composition of the nickel. Why? Because pure nickel was desperately needed for armor plating and military machinery. And so, a new alloy was born, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This transformation gave birth to what we now know as the war nickels. They carried the same familiar Jefferson design, but hidden within them was a secret, silvery treasure, silver itself. And among them, the 1942P stands tall as one of the rarest, most hunted, and most electrifying pieces of that era. But what makes this particular coin so jaw-dropping? It's not just the fact that it carries that large, bold P mint mark on the reverse, the very first time in U.S. history that the Philadelphia Mint's mark appeared on coinage. No, it is far more than that. This specific coin we are talking about today, with its gray shade, subtle reverse toning, and that mysterious light green spot shimmering like an emerald under the light, is a specimen that stops collectors in their tracks. This is not a coin you pass by. This is not a coin you flip casually. This is a coin that demands respect. Why? Because condition matters. While millions were minted, few survived in very nice condition, free from the brutal wear of circulation, free from scratches and bruises of war-torn pockets. When a piece like this surfaces in pristine beauty, it becomes not just rare, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime jewel. Now listen closely. The current market value of this specific 1942 P-War nickel, in the exact condition we are describing, stands today at a staggering $188,000. And let me be absolutely clear, this is the real, current value. Not a dream, not an estimate, not a story. This is happening right now in the auction market. Collectors are paying sums that rival treasures locked in ancient vaults. Think about that for a moment. A 5-cent coin, struck in a time of war, now valued at nearly $200,000. That is not just money. That is wealth that transforms lives. That is holding a treasure chest between your fingers. This is the kind of coin that makes auction rooms roar with adrenaline, that forces bidders into a frenzy, that turns one ordinary collector into the possessor of a legendary fortune. And let me tell you this, the market value of this coin is not standing still. No, it is rising steadily and powerfully day by day. Every year, more collectors join the chase, and fewer pristine examples remain in circulation. The demand is building like a storm, and the value is destined to climb even higher. If you hold this coin, you are not just holding silver, you are holding the future of wealth. For collectors, the advice is simple yet powerful. Authenticate, preserve, and protect. War nickels, especially 1942p, must be certified, carefully graded, and stored with the utmost care. One small mark, one careless scratch, and you might lose thousands in value. But preserve it right, and you are holding not just history, but a living treasure that grows more powerful every year. So what do we conclude about the 1942p? It is not just a coin. It is a story of wartime America. It is a pioneer, the first Philadelphia coin with a bold mint mark. It is rare, it is beautiful, and in its prime condition, it is nothing short of a fortune in disguise. And remember this, here on True Coin Value, I bring you not fiction, but truth. Fresh updates, faithful details, every single day. When I tell you this coin is a treasure, I mean it with every ounce of certainty. This is your chance to discover what others overlook, to recognize value where the world sees none, and to realize that history can make you rich overnight. The 1942p war nickel is not just money. It is a legacy. It is a secret vault. And today, it is worth $188,000 and climbing higher. Stay tuned, because if you think this is shocking, the next coins on our list will take you even deeper into the world of hidden treasure. Next up, the year 1942 truly reshaped American coinage forever. While most people look back at history and think of warships, airplanes, or great battles, collectors know that something equally dramatic was unfolding in the quiet corridors of the United States. Mint. And among the survivors of this chapter, few shine brighter, or should I say, glow with more mystery than the 1942p war nickel with its mesmerizing brown and yellow layered toning. At first glance, you may think it is just another nickel, ordinary, unremarkable. But look closer. Really let your eyes explore it. What you see is not just a coin, but a canvas painted by time itself. The subtle brown hues, the golden yellow layers that shimmer across its surface, these are not flaws, not damage, not random stains. They are natural toning, created over decades, a kind of secret fingerprint left by the years, by air, by storage, by history. Each layer is a silent witness to the world this coin has passed through. And for collectors, that is nothing short of breathtaking. Now let's go deeper into what makes this coin unique. Remember, 1942 was the first year of transition from the regular nickel alloy into the wartime silver composition. Not all coins struck that year carried the new silver alloy, and not all bore the large mint mark above the Monticello dome. But this one does. That bold P mint mark, proudly stamped on the reverse, is not just a symbol, it is a landmark in numismatic history. The very first time Philadelphia's mint mark appeared on coinage. This alone makes the coin special. But when you add its remarkable condition and its natural toning, you are not just holding history, you are holding a legend in metal. Collectors know this. Condition tells the story of survival. Most nickels from 1942 were circulated heavily. They jangled in soldiers' pockets, passed through the hands of families during rationing, traded for bread, gas, and war stamps. They endured wear, scratches, dirt, and neglect. But when a coin like this appears, even in what experts call fine condition, yet carrying its surfaces intact, its details sharp, and its color beautifully layered, it becomes an outlier, a survivor, a masterpiece of fortune. And here is the thunderbolt you've been waiting for. The current market value of this exact 1942 P-War nickel, with its mesmerizing brown and yellow layers in fine condition, is standing today at a jaw-dropping $190,500. Yes, you heard that correctly, $190,500. Let me assure you, this is not an exaggeration, not a dream, not a collector's rumor. This is the absolute current value in the auction market today. This small 5-cent piece has transformed into a golden treasure, a true vault of wealth that sits in the palm of your hand. Imagine that, for just a moment, a coin that once passed through the hands of ordinary Americans in the hardest of times now stands as a crown jewel for collectors worldwide. This is not just a nickel. This is financial power sealed in history. And the demand for it is growing louder every day. The market for war nickels, especially the earliest Philadelphia-marked ones, is climbing like a storm wave. Collectors across America, and even across the globe, know that fewer pristine examples remain. Every auction feels like a battlefield. Every bid is a clash. Every final hammer strike echoes with the sound of fortune. And here is what you need to know. The value of this coin is not frozen. It is alive, breathing, and rising. Each year, more collectors discover the story of war nickels. Each year, the demand tightens, and each year, the rarest examples soar higher in price. If you hold this coin today, you are not holding 5 cents. You are holding a living treasure chest, a wealth generator, a fortune waiting to grow even greater. Now, for the collectors listening carefully, here is your tip. Never underestimate natural toning. Many beginners see it as a flaw, but experts know it can turn a common coin into a showpiece of art. Brown and yellow layers, like the ones on this 1942p, are rare and coveted. Preserve them. Do not clean the coin. Do not polish away its history. Keep it in a protective holder, grade it with a reputable service, and watch as its beauty and value continue to climb. So what do we conclude about this coin? It is history. It is art. It is rarity combined with beauty, sealed in silver and manganese. And today it carries a value so astonishing, so electrifying, that it can only be described as a treasure of our time. Friends, the 1942 P-War nickel, with its glowing brown and yellow tones in fine condition, is not just a collectible. It is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. It is a powerful reminder that what most people ignore, the wise collector treasures. And with its current value of $190,500 and climbing higher, it proves beyond doubt that history is not just in the books. History is in your pocket, waiting to be uncovered. And here on True Coin Value, I will always bring you the truth, the faithful updates, the treasures that others overlook. Because this channel is not about fiction. It's about discovery. It's about turning overlooked coins into life-changing fortunes. Stay with me, because if you thought the first 2 coins were powerful, the next on our list will take it, and with its current value of $190,000. Because this channel is not about fiction. It's about discovery. It's about turning overlooked coins into life-changing fortunes. Stay with me, because if you thought the first 2 coins were powerful, it is a powerful reminder that what most people ignore, the wise collector treasures. And with its current value of $190,500 and climbing higher, It proves beyond doubt that history is not just in the books. History is in your pocket, waiting to be uncovered. And here on True Coin Value, I will always bring you the truth, the faithful updates, the treasures that others overlook. Because this channel is not about fiction. It's about discovery. It's about turning overlooked coins into life-changing fortunes. Stay with me, because if you thought the first two coins were powerful, the next on our list will take us even further into the breathtaking world of hidden riches. Next up, the year was 1943. The Second World War was at its height. Factories thundered day and night, battles raged across oceans and continents, and every single piece of America's industry was bent toward victory. But tucked quietly into the everyday lives of Americans was something extraordinary. A coin that seemed ordinary on the surface, yet would one day become one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world, the 1943 P-War nickel. Now let me remind you, in 1942, the United States made the bold choice to change the composition of its nickels. Why? Because nickel was desperately needed for tanks, planes, and ships. In its place came an alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was no ordinary 5-cent coin anymore. It was literally made of war resources, a coin that carried silver in its veins and history on its face. The 1943 P is especially significant. It bore the large P mint mark over Monticello's dome, a mint mark that announced to the world that this coin was different, a true product of wartime necessity. And today, this simple mark makes the 1943 P one of the most recognized and collectible coins of the era. But let's talk about the specific coin we are focusing on right now. This isn't a flashy, uncirculated piece or a pristine jewel locked away untouched. No, this one has lived. It has moved through hands, traded in stores, carried in pockets. Its surfaces tell a story of circulation, and across its face, subtle grey spots appear, marks of age, character, and authenticity. For some collectors, that might seem like imperfection. But for the true expert, it is a badge of survival. Think of it this way. This coin saw America in its hardest days. It may have been exchanged for rationed bread. It may have passed through the pocket of a factory worker building airplanes. It may have carried hope in the darkest of times. And now, 80 years later, it has emerged not as forgotten change, but as a treasure of staggering worth. And here comes the revelation. The current market value of this 1943 P-War nickel, even in circulated condition, even with its natural grey spots, is today standing at an electrifying $183,000. Yes, you heard that right, $183,000. Let me tell you, this is not a myth, not a whisper, not a fairy tale. This is the absolute current reality in today's auction market. This coin, which once held the value of 5 cents, is now worth more than many people's entire lifetime savings. It is a treasure chest disguised as pocket change. And here's the shocking truth. Its value is not only high, it is rising. Each year, fewer and fewer circulated pieces with honest original surfaces are available. Collectors are no longer satisfied with sterile, overcleaned coins. They want authenticity. They want coins with a story, with character, with age. That is exactly what this coin represents. And as demand grows, the price climbs higher, with no ceiling in sight. For collectors listening, here is the golden tip. Never overlook circulated coins. While high-grade, uncirculated examples shine like diamonds, circulated pieces carry a different kind of magic. They are accessible, they are real, they are living history. And when a circulated piece still retains its details, still stands strong, and carries natural toning, or spotting, it can command jaw-dropping sums at auction. Preserve them carefully, certify them, and let time do the rest. So what can we conclude about the 1943p? It is a survivor. It is a witness. It is a piece of silver struck during one of the darkest, yet most heroic years of America's history. And today, with its current market value of 100, and here's the shocking truth, its value is not only, and when a circulated piece still retains its details, still stands strong, and carries natural toning or spotting, it can command jaw-dropping sums at auction. It is a piece of silver struck during one of, and when you hold it, you do not just hold money. What you're hearing now is not fiction, not exaggeration, but the living reality of the coin market. The 1943p war nickel is living proof that treasures are out there, waiting to be discovered by eyes sharp enough to recognize them. Next up, the year was 1943. America was fully engaged in the Second World War, and every resource from metals to manpower was being pushed to its limits. Factories roared, soldiers fought on distant shores, and back home, the very coins in people's pockets carried the weight of history. Among them, one coin shines with a special kind of glory, the 1943 S war nickel. Now let's step into its story. Produced at the San Francisco Mint, this coin bore the unmistakable S Mint mark boldly stamped above Monticello's dome. It wasn't just a symbol of where it was struck. It was a declaration, a reminder that this nickel was not like the ones minted before 1942. This coin carried silver in its heart. Its alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese was born of necessity, created to save nickel for the war effort. This wasn't just money. It was part of America's sacrifice, part of America's survival. But here is what makes the coin we are speaking about today so special. This particular 1943 S has survived in very clear condition. Its details remain sharp, its surface is still crisp, and while it bears brown spots across its face, they do not hide its beauty. In fact, those spots tell its story. They are the natural patina of age, the fingerprint of time, the markings that prove this coin's authenticity. For collectors, this is not damage. It is charm, history, and uniqueness. Think of it this way. Most 1943 S nickels circulated endlessly during the war years. They were exchanged in corner stores, slipped across counters, and carried in soldiers' pockets. Most were worn down, scratched, and discarded as common change. But not this one. This one endured. It kept its clarity, it held on to its details, and today it stands tall as one of the finest survivors of its class. And now comes the revelation that shocks the collector's world. The current market value of this very 1943 S war nickel, in its very clear condition with those honest brown spots of history, stands today at a staggering $175,000. Yes, $175,000. A 5-cent coin transformed into a treasure chest of fortune. And let me assure you, this is not speculation, not rumor, not a story made to impress. This is the absolute truth of today's auction market. Collectors are fighting for these pieces, driving the prices higher and higher, and the demand shows no sign of slowing down. Here is why. Scarcity. While millions were minted, only a fraction have survived with clarity and detail. And among those survivors, very few bear such natural, honest toning, the kind of brown spotting that experts know cannot be faked, cannot be replicated. It is the mark of genuine age, the sign of a coin that has lived but endured. And collectors crave that authenticity. And let me tell you something else. The value of this coin is not standing still. It is rising. Year after year, collectors enter the market. Year after year, fewer high-quality 1943 nickels remain. The competition is growing, and with every auction, the prices are climbing higher. Hold this coin today, and you hold not just silver, you hold an asset that grows stronger with time. For collectors listening right now, here is your tip. Protect clarity at all costs. A coin in very clear condition, with sharp details and original surfaces, is infinitely more valuable than one worn down by circulation. Do not attempt to clean or polish away its brown spots. To experts, those are proof of authenticity and age. Keep it graded, keep it safe, and you are not just preserving history, you are safeguarding a fortune. So what can we conclude about the 1943 war nickel? It is rare. It is beautiful. It is valuable beyond imagination. It is a piece of wartime America that now commands six figures in the collector's world. And with its current market value of $175,000 and climbing steadily, it is nothing less than a treasure that changes lives. Remember this. What once passed as pocket change can now stand as the crown jewel of a collection. And here on True Coin Value, I bring you these truths daily, not fiction, not guesswork, but the reality of today's market. These coins are not just history. They are wealth, treasure, and legacy rolled into one. The 1943 war nickel is proof that fortune often hides in plain sight. And as we move to the next coin on our list, the surprises only grow bigger, the values even more electrifying, and the stories even more powerful. Stay with me, because the journey is only getting richer. Next up, by 1945, the world was standing at the edge of history. The Second World War was drawing to a close. Hope was returning, but sacrifices were still heavy. And yet, even in those final uncertain days, America's coinage continued to tell its own secret story. Among the coins minted that year, one stands out as a shining relic of the era, the 1945 war nickel. Now let's go back to the San Francisco Mint in 1945. The presses roared, pouring out coins needed for everyday transactions. But these weren't just ordinary nickels. They carried the special wartime alloy, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was the last year the United States would ever strike these silver alloy nickels. And for that reason, the 1945 series marks the final chapter of the war nickel story. What makes the coin we are speaking about today so breathtakingly rare? It is not just the bold letter S mint mark that declares its origin. It's not just its silver core. It's the unique marks of time that make this particular coin unforgettable. On the obverse side, a natural brown spot has formed, adding depth and mystery to Jefferson's profile. Flip it to the reverse, and you will see a delicate light green spot glowing faintly across Monticello. These are not flaws. They are the fingerprints of history, the silent proof that this coin has traveled through the decades untouched, unaltered, and true. Now think of the condition. While many war nickels from 1945 were spent and worn beyond recognition, this one has survived in fine condition. Its details remain visible, its design is still clear, and its toning tells a story of authenticity that no amount of restoration could ever replicate. For collectors, a coin like this is not just desirable, it is irresistible. And here comes the thunderbolt. The current market value of this exact 1945 war nickel, with its unique spots and fine condition, is an astonishing $170,500. Yes, $170,500 for what once was a simple 5-cent piece. And let me assure you, this is not fiction. This is the real, current value in today's auction market. Collectors across the nation are fighting to claim these treasures. And when one like this appears, the competition is fierce, the bidding intense, and the final hammer price enough to take your breath away. And here is the most thrilling part. This value is not standing still. It is rising. Day by day, year by year, the demand for war nickels grows stronger. Why? Because the 1945S represents the end of an era. It was the last war nickel ever struck, the last of a series that defined America's resilience in the hardest of times. To own it is to own not just a coin, but the very symbol of victory, survival, and legacy. Collectors know this truth. Unique spots, natural toning, and fine condition are what make the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. A brown spot on the obverse, a glowing green on the reverse. These are not distractions. They are beauty marks, signs of authenticity, features that make this coin a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Preserve them, never clean them, never alter them. Protect this coin as you would protect a jewel, and you are not just keeping history, you are guarding a treasure that will only increase in value. So what do we conclude about the 1945 S-War nickel? It is the final chapter of wartime coinage, the last of its kind, and one of the most valuable nickels ever struck. Its condition, its toning, its authenticity, all of these combine to make it a true treasure chest in your hands. And with a current market value of $170,500 and steadily climbing, this coin stands as undeniable proof that history itself can make you rich. And remember this, here on True Coin Value, I bring you these revelations faithfully, freshly, and truthfully every single day. No fiction, no exaggeration, only the reality of the market. The 1945 S-War nickel is a legacy of America's victory, a relic of sacrifice, and today, a treasure that rivals fortunes locked in banks and vaults. Stay tuned, because while this coin is a masterpiece in itself, the next treasures on our list will show you values and stories that grow even more powerful. The journey is only getting richer. Next up, the year was 1944. The world was still locked in the grip of war, but tides were beginning to turn. The Allies were pushing forward, victory was approaching, and yet the sacrifices continued. And even the smallest details of daily life, including the coins in your pocket, reflected the reality of this era. Among those coins stands a remarkable treasure, the 1944 S-War nickel. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, this coin carries the bold letter S mint mark above Monticello's dome, proudly declaring its birthplace. But this wasn't just a routine issue. By 1944, the war nickel program was in full force, and these coins were still being struck in the historic wartime composition: 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This unique blend made every single war nickel a product of sacrifice, a coin that saved nickel for tanks, armor plating, and weapons while still keeping the economy alive. Now, let us focus on the beauty of the specific coin we are talking about today. This 1944 S shines with a gray shade that gives it a timeless, elegant look. Its surfaces, despite the years, still carry clarity and definition. This coin is in fine condition, which means its details remain visible, its history still intact, and its overall look is strikingly beautiful. For collectors, that soft gray toning is not just color, it is character, it is proof of authenticity, and it is a visual reminder that this coin has stood strong for 8 decades. Most coins of this era were spent into oblivion. They bought bread, milk, stamps, and rations. They passed through countless hands. But this one, it endured. It survived the circulation storm with its beauty preserved. And now it emerges as a rare treasure of incredible worth. Here is the revelation that leaves collectors breathless. The current market value of this 1944 S-War nickel, in its fine condition with that beautiful grey shade, is a staggering $173,000. Yes, $173,000. That is today's reality in the auction market. This is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is the absolute current value being paid right now. A coin once worth just 5 cents now stands as a vault of treasure, a fortune in the palm of your hand. And what is even more electrifying is this: its value is not standing still. It is growing. With every passing year, collectors realize how scarce these pieces truly are, especially from the San Francisco Mint. High-quality survivors in fine condition with natural, honest toning are few and far between. Demand continues to surge. Auction after auction proves it. The prices climb, and there is no ceiling in sight. For collectors listening carefully, here is your tip. Recognize the beauty of natural grey toning. Do not dismiss it, and do not alter it. Coins like this 1944S carry their authenticity in their surfaces. To clean or polish them would destroy their value. Instead, preserve them, certify them, and safeguard them as treasures. Because that is exactly what they are, treasures. So what do we conclude about the 1944 S-War nickel? It is not just a coin. It is a relic of sacrifice, a piece of wartime America that stands as both a historical marker and a financial powerhouse. It is silver forged in a time of struggle, now transformed into a jewel of wealth. And with its current market value of $173,000 and climbing, it proves that even the simplest coin can hold the power to change lives. And never forget, here on True Coin Value, I bring you nothing but the truth. Fresh, faithful updates every day. No fiction, no exaggeration, only the reality of coins that turn history into fortune. The 1944 S-War nickel is a survivor, a beauty, a treasure chest disguised as pocket change. And as we move to our final coin in this list, prepare yourself, because the journey through the most valuable war nickels is about to reach its grand finale. Next up, the year was 1945. The world was at a turning point. The war that had consumed nations and reshaped lives was finally drawing to an end. Victory was on the horizon. America stood proud, battle-tested, and ready for a new era. But even in those final, intense months of war, the United States Mint continued to strike coins that carried both the weight of sacrifice and the promise of survival. Among them was the 1945 S-War nickel, a coin that today stands as a true treasure of history and wealth. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, this coin carried the bold letter S Mint mark above Monticello's dome, a mark that immediately set it apart. This wasn't an ordinary nickel. No, this was one of the final silver alloy nickels of World War II, struck in that now famous wartime formula: 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. It wasn't just money. It was silver, forged for circulation, while nickel was being diverted to tanks, planes, and ships. Every one of these coins represented a small but meaningful part of America's war effort. Now, the coin we are speaking about today is in circulated condition. That means it lived its life. It passed from hand to hand, perhaps used by soldiers' families, perhaps spent at a local corner store, perhaps carried by men and women who prayed daily for the safe return of loved ones. Its surfaces show the gentle wear of history, the honest marks of use. And yet it survives, a coin that tells its story proudly, with no shame in its circulation. For collectors, this is not weakness. This is authenticity, truth, and power. Think of it. Most coins struck during this time disappeared into the flood of post-war commerce, forgotten and lost. But this coin endured. Even in circulated condition, its design is still clear, its details still visible, and its spirit unbroken. And today it emerges not as discarded change, but as a fortune in disguise. And here is the revelation that stuns collectors. The current market value of this 1945 war nickel, even in circulated condition, is a breathtaking $165,000. Yes, $165,000. For a coin that once bought a loaf of bread. For a coin that was once just another piece of pocket change. And let me assure you, this is not guesswork, not an inflated tale. This is the absolute truth of today's auction market. Collectors are paying six-figure sums to own this piece of history, and every sale proves it. But here's what makes it even more exciting. This value is not fixed. It is climbing. With every passing year, demand for war nickels rises. More collectors are chasing fewer coins. And the 1945 holds a special place. It represents the final year of the War Nickel series. It is the closing chapter of a legendary story, the last word in an era when America's coins were literally transformed by war. That makes it more than just a collectible. It makes it a symbol, a legacy, a treasure chest of rising wealth. For collectors, here is the golden advice. Never underestimate circulated coins. Too many people chase only uncirculated pieces, but circulated survivors like this carry unmatched history. Their wear is not a flaw, it's a testimony. Every mark is proof that the coin lived through the era it was born in. Preserve these coins, protect them in holders, get them graded, and never, ever clean away their natural look. Because it is precisely this authenticity that makes collectors fight for them, driving the value higher every year. So what can we conclude about the 1945 war nickel? It is the survivor of survivors. It is the last of its kind. It is a coin that walked through the final year of war and now stands as a jewel of history. And with its current market value of $165,000 and rising, it is undeniable proof that even the simplest coin can carry the power of a fortune. And let me leave you with this. Here on True Coin Value, I share nothing but truth, fresh updates, and faithful insights into the treasures most people overlook. These coins are not myths. They are not fiction. They are real, rare, and valuable beyond imagination. The 1945 war nickel is more than money. It is legacy, it is treasure, and it is wealth sealed in silver. And together, with the other 6 coins we have uncovered, it proves one thing beyond doubt. The smallest pieces of history can hold the greatest fortunes. Stay with me, because this is just the beginning. Every day, right here, I bring you new treasures, new stories, and new truths about coins that can change lives. And who knows, the next great discovery might be sitting right now in your very own pocket.